Mabuhay or in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. Today's question comes from a few students that I've met both in the Philippines and here in California. Kuya Kirby, is it true that LA or Los Angeles was founded by a Filipino? Yes, but no. But let me explain why. The city of Los Angeles was founded on September 4th, 1781, and it was then known as El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de los Ángeles, or in English, the town of Our Lady, the Queen of the Angels, or in short, El Pueblo de Los Ángeles, hence today's name, the city of Los Angeles. It was established by 11 founders from Mexico and their families. They were known as Los Pobladores del Pueblo de Los Ángeles, and you can find their names engraved on historical markers and in the city's official history. But the little known and almost forgotten fact was that there was supposed to be a 12th founder of LA, Antonio Miranda Rodriquez, the mysterious 12th founder of Los Angeles. Miranda was a 50-year-old widower who, along with his daughter, his 11-year-old daughter, was slated to also settle in what would become the new Pueblo. They set out with the rest of the pobladores in the early part of 1781 across what would become California towards their new home in what is now LA. But while they're in Baja California, they unfortunately fell ill. They had smallpox and they had to stay behind to recover. But sadly, his daughter eventually died. She did not survive the illness. And when Miranda finally reached LA in 1783, the land that was supposed to be allotted to him was already given to someone else. And it was then that the Spaniards found out and discovered that Miranda was actually a very highly skilled gunsmith. The Spaniards saw the value of his talents, and he was then transferred to settle in Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara back then was a more prestigious town compared to Los Angeles, and he arrived in Santa Barbara on October of 1783. Miranda then served as a weapons maker at El Presidio Real de Santa Barbara, or this fortified military base that protected a huge chunk of what is now Southern California. Miranda was also not the only one from the Philippines to be involved in the early foundations of what is now the state of California. But more on that in a future video or maybe a future book. So how much do we know about Antonio Miranda Rodriquez?
Is he Filipino?
Not really, because back then the term Filipino only applied to white Spaniards, purebred white Spaniards who were born in the Philippines, not even mixed.
But is he from the Philippines?
Yes, Antonio Miranda Rodriquez was born in the city of Manila. But in the 1781 census of Los Angeles, he was identified as a Chino.
So is he Chinese?
No, because back then the term Chino did not just mean Chinese. Back during the Spanish colonial era in Mexico, the terms Chinos and Indiaschinos were used to refer to people who are mostly from the Philippines, not China. Why? Because back then, the natives of the Philippines and the Native Americans of what is now Mexico were all called Indios. So to avoid confusion and to distinguish the two from one another, the Spanish colonial society started using the term Indios Chinos or simply Chinos to refer to the natives of the Philippines who were living in Mexico. And most of them, especially in the earliest part of the Spanish colonial period, were Luzones Indios de la Pampanga, also known as Indios Chinos de la Pampanga, or what we now call the Kapampangans.
Wait, so is he Kapampangan?
Maybe, most likely, because back then, as I've mentioned in previous videos, the term Luzon Indio or Luzones Indios was used by the Spaniards to refer to the people of Luzon, or the Kapampangan-speaking ancestors of today's Kapampangan people. And what we know is that Miranda was believed to be a mestizo of mixed Luzon Indio and Spanish ancestry. So yes, maybe, at the very least, he was probably part Kapampangan. But of course, we still need to do more research on that. It is also worth noting that the founder of Angeles City, Philippines in 1796, Don Angel Pantaleon de Miranda, was also a Kapampangan mestizo whose last name was also Miranda. But maybe that's just a coincidence. But then again, who knows? After all, there's a ton of fascinating facts buried underneath our forgotten histories. They're just waiting to be uncovered. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And that is it for me today. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, show your support and please be my patron or get a copy of my book, Dakalpong Salámat. See you next time on Tagalog Kita-Kits sa Kapampangan. Mikitix!